Hi everyone, I'm back with another Diablo 4 video, and I've made some pretty interesting discoveries lately that I want to highlight here and kind of show off what I've been working on lately in preparation for Abattoir of Zir. So you might have seen this clip here lately that I uploaded where I just one-tapped a world boss with like roughly 220 million damage on my rogue. If you don't know what is going on there, this is the Tibault's will bug that allows you to get extra maximum combo points. So here, this is an item that drops from Duriel that was introduced in Season 2, and this maximum resource stat actually gives you extra combo points, up to 22 on the maximum roll. So this is how such crazy damage is possible. I made a video about this. There's a setup also linked in the description if you want to do fancy stuff like that. And it turns out that this bug is most likely not getting fixed until the end of Season 2. At least this is what Jai hinted at in an interview he gave at BlizzCon, where he was talking about Abattoir of Zir coming in December and 16 combo point rogues. So this means this is going to be the meta now. So I started experimenting with Tibault's will a bit more. After doing those funny like one-shot clips and stuff, I kind of just left it on the side because usually I don't really like to like dive too deep into like these obvious bugs. And I just kind of like experimented with all the builds, you know, to get like a regular, like, you know, untainted picture of their power without those pans or without the interaction with condemnation. You can leave out either one of those two items and you will not actually bug out. But in that case, I just kind of like left it until now, where we got near confirmation that this is going to be the meta for the rest of the season. And that led me to some pretty interesting discoveries. For example, you can do some pretty funny stuff with penetrating shot, turns out. So here is a screenshot from last night where I was experimenting with this. I have 1133% lucky hit on my penetrating shot using Tibault's will. And if you don't know, you buff the lucky hit chance of penetrating shot with extra combo points. So you see this here on the tooltip. You get plus 10, plus 20, plus 30% lucky hit for each combo point basically. And then with 18 combo points, you're going to have plus 180. So the base 50% gets buffed by, in my case, 180, so 230% lucky hit. I have a bit of lucky hit on my gear, like 30% now, so this multiplies. So you see me here standing with roughly 300% lucky hit. And this is actually real lucky hit that goes beyond 100%. So some people are not aware that you don't just have to hit 100%. You can actually go beyond that and trigger stuff more frequently that way. For example, if you look at this Bursting Venom's proc here, this says skills have up to 15% chance to create a toxic pool. That up to is just fake. It's not relevant. It has 15% chance to trigger, multiplied with your lucky hit chance. And this means that with enough lucky hit chance, you can actually get to 100%. So if we, for example, divide 1 by 0.15, this means you have 666% lucky hit. You will trigger Bursting Venoms guaranteed. And, well, I can do that because there's another funny bug going on, Blizzard Math at its finest. So 300% lucky hit, buffed by 33% combo point effect with Cunning Stratagem, for some reason ends up at 770% lucky hit. I don't know exactly the math behind that. There's some really wonky stuff going on. Usually what is supposed to happen is that without Tibault's will bug, you go from 10, 20, 30 to 10, 20, 40. So as you see here in the tooltip right now. But for some reason, it gives you like way more than that. It gives me like times 2.5 on my total lucky hit. I guess there's like some kind of multiplication going on, but it creates some pretty funny outcomes. And it's also kind of hilarious how this looks on some of the other skills here. For example, Twisting Blades has a combo point effect of giving you extra movement speed. And usually that is like 20, 40, 60. And then Flurry has an attack speed bonus that's usually like 15, 30, 45. So that will go to 60, for example, and this will go to 80. And, well, the funny part is that the game actually has a cap of plus 100% movement speed, so you can't actually get more than that anyway. And it's the same with attack speed. You can only get plus 100% in this category, and then there's another category with plus 100%. But for some reason, you can get like, you know, hundreds of percent of bonus with that bug going on. And I don't know why this is happening, but yeah, there's like some really wonky stuff here. For Barrage and Rapid Fire, there is actually no significance here with Cunning Stratagem. In fact, Cunning Stratagem doesn't actually do anything for them, it seems like, when you spec it together with the Tibault's will bug. So this is kind of useless there, but for at least Pen Shot, you can do some fancy shenanigans. So I can show this off here. I just showed, for example, the Bursting Venoms ring. And I can literally guarantee these poison puddles on every single hit. You see this here, when I shoot my poison imbued shots, I spawn these puddles immediately. So every single time I shoot, I'll get one. And this is a pretty strong like interaction here. And I can also show this here on the target dummy. You see here, there's a poison puddle with a single shot. And here's one again. And here's one again. So every single time, without fail, it will trigger because you have this insane amount of lucky hit. And the funny part is that I believe this is yet another bug, but for some reason, those Bursting Venoms poison puddles also have their own lucky hit chance that, for example, can trigger X-Files Corroded Signet. So literally every single one of those puddles can then trigger an X-File explosion. So for example, when we have like multiple target dummies here, you'll see that I do one shot and I'll actually get something like 3, 4, 5 explosions or so of that. If you look at these little green explosions here, 1, 2, 3, you saw that, and we can see that again. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is actually some pretty interesting stuff that's going on here, and this is the kind of build that I was working towards right now. So I will still do more experimentation. This is kind of like some fresh finding that I had here last night, but it's a really hilarious outcome. With that amount of lucky hit, with like 700%, 1000%, this can go crazier if you really want. You can pop the elixir, you can get better Tibault's Will. I'm missing 4 combo points here. You can get basically guaranteed triggers on any lucky hit chance in the game. I've been looking around though, and outside of X-Files, there's not really that many crazy things together with the Bursting Venoms. So I think this is already kind of like the combo that we are looking for. But for example, Doombringer has this 5% chance to heal you. That 5% actually just becomes near guaranteed. And also has this 25% chance for the explosion. So that explosion is guaranteed. And if you have other stuff like Andariel's Visage, you can guarantee those poison explosions, for example. So there's a lot of stuff like that going on. There's also, for example, a Fist of Fate that has a bunch of these lucky hit effects that all have rather low chances. Each of them can be guaranteed every single time you shoot, for example. So this is like how crazy that is. And I think you can definitely find some really funny stuff with this. And I'll keep you guys updated, of course. So I just want to kind of get this out there as kind of like something funny to experiment with. And if anyone has ideas how to use this best or something. But I think there is definitely some potential here for like a really crazy high-end build for Abattoir of Zir with penetrating shot. And if it's not penetrating shot, I expect that it's going to be the poison twisting blades. So the bursting venom stuff again on twisting blades is probably going to be like either the next best or the best build on rogues. That will have the best chances to go very high in Abattoir when it comes out. So I'm going to be experimenting with that in the next days. I'm going to keep you guys updated. But this was just some really hilarious findings here and some hilarious scripts that I produced yesterday with those bursting venoms procs. And let's see where the journey will go. I'll keep you guys updated. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you guys next time.